Big break for the Hilltoppers, a chance for them to do something here as they bring him out. Single back behind quarterback B.J. McDonald. He's only a sophomore. Got the starting job. Roses in motion. Double handoff, a reverse to the near side. But again, it is snuffed out by the Whalers. And that's number 82, Stefan Gomes, putting the stick on as the Hilltoppers coming out with something a little different to start the game here.
Stefan Gomes, one of the cornerbacks for the Whalers here today, as well as a wide receiver, coming right off the blitz and nails Rose right in the backfield for the big loss.
Well, Rose is one of the more talented backs for the Durfee Hilltoppers, and you see him with the football right here, but Kyle Grillo there quickly, Ian.
Kyle Grillo, number 22 right there, sack, taking him down for the loss. It's now 30-14 at the New Bedford 35-yard line.
And Stefan Gomes there, number 82 in there. As we bring a third down, as Ian said, 14 to go at the New Bedford 35-yard line. B.J. McDonald calling signals in the I formation. Rolling out. And it's Kyle Gannett with a sack. Kyle Gannett coming in strong, throwing the young sophomore quarterback for a 10-yard loss.
Kyle Gannett, one of the outside linebackers for the Whalers, coming right off the blitz. See his graphic there, 5'10", 175 pounds. He goes completely uncontested, Paul. We watch this, no protection at all. And you see McDonald back the pass, and he completely comes uncovered from the outside, taking him down for the loss. It's 4th and 22, and now Durfee has to punt.
Well, Durfee failed to take advantage of that miscue on the opening kickoff. They got the ball deep in New Bedford territory, and that really hurts. That was an opportunity for Durfee to do something and set this game in motion, and Tim Powers gets the ball away. Down near the 20-yard line, goes out of bounds. It looks like it's going to be spotted at about the 23, so the Bedford Whalers dodge a little bit of a bullet, and I'll tell you, if it comes to momentum, what a big lift for New Bedford. They make that mistake, give Durfee the ball in enemy territory for their first possession, and defensively, Grillo, Gomes, and Gannett coming up huge.
And, you know, they had the ball at the New Bedford 30-yard line, and it looked as though maybe they could at least try to punch it in and at least get the ball deep into New Bedford territory, but New Bedford completely retook the emotion here on 3 plays, which gave Durfee big yard losses. As a result, New Bedford gets the ball back.
Grillo and Santos directly behind quarterback Andrew Rebello. Play action on first down. Rebello gets it away, and he can't hook up with fullback Kyle Grillo. He did have a man in his face the entire time, and that would be Durfee's Jason Springer, I believe. That'll bring up a second down, New Bedford and 10.
And that's as we were talking earlier, Paul. Rebello, very good quarterback, very smart, has a good arm. Not the fastest and not the quickest, so when he gets out of that pocket, it's very tough for him to try to get any completions here, as you see on the replay, as he's being chased by Hairston, and he just overthrows.
The difference there, of course, when McDonald was rolling out, he got sacked. At least that time, Rebello got the pass away to avoid the sack. Second down and 10 at the 24, split backfield this time behind Rebello. And I believe we saw some movement by one of the tailbacks. Looks like we may have a false start. Let's see which way it goes. It is a false start against New Bedford. That'll be a 5-yard penalty. It'll set up a 2nd and 15.
Yeah, I believe it was on Santos. Santos, little anticipating the snap count, just jumped the gun a little bit. As a result, it's 2nd and 15. Go ahead, Paul. No. With 8:28 left here in the first quarter, nothing your score.
Second down and 15 now. New Bedford at their own 19. Neither offenses have been able to move the ball yet. It's very early, of course. Andrew Abello, junior quarterback, calling signals. Draw play. That's to Jared Santos. Jared Santos not able to get anywhere as the Hilltoppers moving in pretty quickly. Outside linebacker. Chris Madera is actually a defensive lineman, 290 pounds, manages to get in there for the tackle.
I wouldn't like that coming after me, Paul. I don't know about you, but 290 pounds, what a tank, wow. Also, Jesse Bernier was in on the stop, 5'7", 169 pounds senior, outside linebacker.
So right now, the Whalers on their first possession, having as much difficulty as Durfee had. Of course, Durfee had the ball in enemy territory, New Bedford in their own territory. So it's a 3rd down and 17, clear passing situation. Whalers with 2 wide receivers this time in the I formation behind Andrew Rebello. Play action. Andrew Rebello with time. Over the middle. Has a man, and it's caught right near first down territory. It looks like it's going to be Stefan Gomes. Oh, wait a minute. Then they're saying he dropped the ball right at the first down marker. Boy, I thought he had his arms under there, Ian.
Absolutely, Paul. If we can get another look at that. Stefan Gomes absolutely, positively cuffed that ball before he hit the ground. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
That's a gutsy move without having seen the slow motion replay.
And try not to be too much of a homer here, and try not to be a little too biased. That was definitely a reception. Wasn't a first down, but it was at least a yard shy. And you never know what would have happened here. But
so each team has had one possession, and neither team was able to move the football. I don't believe we had a first down by either team. So the ball is going to be punted by Walsh. Walsh having trouble with it. The ball's at the 1 yard line. He's going to have to run it out of there. Tackled at the 2. Oh, a tough break right there for the New Bedford Whalers as Mike Walsh receiving kind of a high snap. And of course, with the weather conditions being what they are, kind of rainy, ball slippery, was just not able to get a handle to it and punted away successfully.
And on the tackle was Chris Medeiros. And here's the replay, Paul. The botched snap dropped by Mike Walsh. There it is right there, drops it. And you can see here number 38, Thomas Kilby coming in. And finally taken down as Walsh by a whole slew of Hilltoppers with 7:25 left in the first quarter. And the ball at the Whalers' 2 yard line.
We do have a timeout on the field by the New Bedford Whalers as head coach Dennis Golden wants to regroup the troops, but right now, Durfee, this is the second time now that they've had a little bit of a break. The first time came on the opening kickoff when the ball bounced off of Carl Grillo and Durfee got the ball in enemy territory. In fact, it was down at the New Bedford 34, couldn't get a first down. New Bedford gets the ball back. They can't move it, and now on an attempted punt by New Bedford, Durfee now has it at the 2 yard line. And I have to tell you, this is a very important moment in the game because if you're Durfee, you cannot let this opportunity go by. You have to get into the end zone right here.
Well, absolutely, Paul. And also, the Whalers can't keep giving the Hilltoppers all these chances. I mean, yeah, the Hilltoppers are 2-7, but also the Hilltoppers are averaging 14 to 17 points a game. And the Whalers, who are averaging a little over 7 points a game, that could be a problem. They can't give them any kind of breaks. And so far, they've given them 2.
First and 10 at the 2 for B.J. McDonald. Handoff goes to the fullback. I believe that was Rose going straight ahead between the guards. The Bedford Whalers closing it up pretty much on the inside. Alex Grande in there, Seamus Pendergrast, and the rest of the defensive line. He may have picked up a yard, but just barely.
According to our judge, who's sitting next to me in the booth here, he gained the yard, so it's 2nd and 1 at the 1. So he did gain a yard.
Quarterback keeper by the quarterback, B.J. McDonald. Again, a big pile up on the interior of the line. He did get some progress, but not into the end zone.
No, I don't think he got in. Oh, he did?
Now he's in, a touchdown. After they pull the bodies out, the officials signaling the TD. And the Durfee Hilltoppers have taken a 6-0 lead, 6:39 to go.
And how important was that for the Hilltoppers, Paul? I mean, they benefit from the botched snap that was fumbled by Walsh, taken down at the 2 yard line by Jackson, and then now they score on the quarterback keeper.
Tim Powers will be attempting the extra point, and we now have a timeout called by Durfee. It looks like B.J. McDonald, actually the quarterback, coming in to attempt the extra point, and it's kind of interesting to see the quarterback setting up for the extra point. I don't know if he does a lot of the kicking, but we were told prior to the game that it's mostly Powers. Do you recall B.J. kicking any extra points in the games that you've covered?
No, I really don't, Paul, but the funny thing is this. Steve Wronowski called timeout. Well, I'll get back to that in a minute, but watch. Just breaks the plane. McDonald just over the goal line for the touchdown. As I was saying, they were going to go for the extra point, but McDonald came back in. They called timeout. They might go for 2, but now it looks as though they might be setting up for the PAT. So,
of course, the fact that it's the quarterback that's holding means that you can try anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
But a lot of times the quarterback is the holder too.
As Wronowski said, we'll try anything.
Powers right down Broadway, and the Durfee Hilltoppers have taken a 7-0 lead, 6:39 to go here in the first quarter, and it's a situation where the Durfee Hilltoppers have taken advantage of New Bedford mistakes. New Bedford dodging that first bullet, but this last time, New Bedford punting from really 3 or 4 yards in front of the end zone. A little bit of a high snap. Walsh not able to get a handle to it. Covers it up. Durfee at the 2, a couple of running plays, and then they've got 6.
And also, you hate to go back to a call that maybe could have been, but again, That Drew Dwelly reception looked as though he grabbed it, he cuffed it in. Our officials, of course, they did have a better angle than we did. I thought he caught it, but who am I to dispute them? They said he dropped it. Nonetheless, the Whalers had to punt, the botched fumble. As a result, it sets up a 1st and goal from the 2, and eventually B.J. McDonald scores on the halfback draw with 6:39 left here in the first quarter, and 7-0 Durfee has the lead.
Durfee likes to run a lot of trick plays. The coaching staff of New Bedford, having coached and scouted Durfee, actually, not coached them, but scouted them to assist in their coaching. And in the Attleboro game, it was pointed out to us when Durfee played Attleboro, they had fake punts, they had fake extra points, halfback option. Ball caught at the 35-yard line by the up man, carried downfield for a gain of about 10 yards, and that's Antoine Murphy, the junior, 5'10", 164-pounder. On special teams, also a running back. Gets the ball past the 45 to about the 47, so tremendous field position for the Whalers on the return by Murphy.
Whalers are starting off on their own 46-yard line. Very good field position. 1st down or 2, and before you know it, we'll be getting into field goal territory with Tim Charbonneau kicking. We know he has one heck of a boot, Paul, an ex-soccer player. He was drilling them from 30, 35 yards out during the pregame.
Stefan Gomes and Marcel Canary split out wide to the right. Quick hitter to Jared Santos, but he falls down. As you can see, the ball is at the area of the field that has the most water accumulation, so Santos getting a little bit past the line of scrimmage, a gain of 1 for New Bedford.
And unfortunately, in high school, where you land is where you're going to stop. So even though Santos wasn't touched, it's not like the professional where you can pick yourself up and run again. Once your knees hit the ground, you are done. You have to stay where you fall.
2nd and 9, New Bedford at their own 47-yard line. Wide to the right is Marcel Canary. But again, it's going to be the handoff to Jared Santos. Crosses midfield. Goes past the mud accumulation. Picks up a gain of about 4 yards. Set up a 3rd and 5 now for NB.
You have to think too, Paul. This field is very, very muddy, but yet it looks decent in lieu of, of the weather we've been having all last night and all today, and you can see the replay here. Santos right up the middle, getting a gain of 5. It's 3rd and 5 now from the 49-yard line of Durfee.
Jared Santos, the tailback. Carl Grillo is the fullback, an offset eye. Wide to the right is Canary. Stefan Gomes to the left. 3rd and 5 at the 49. Pitch to Santos. Pass midfield. Down to the Durfee 45, appears to be short of the 1st down, as the 1st down marker is about at the 43.
It looks as though he'll be about a yard, half a yard short. They might bring out the chains here, but 4th and 1 they're going to call it.
Ball spotted at the Durfee Hilltopper 45-yard line. Mike Waltz checking into the game. He's the New Bedford punter. So we'll see what the decision is going to be here.
Dennis Golden playing it very conservatively here, Paul. You figured maybe he'd go for it with the ball in Durfee's territory.
The fans always say go for it.
Of course, 4th and 1. I mean, but of course, too, you don't want to take any chances. You don't want to give Durfee any more opportunities.
Jared Santos is in front of Walsh, which can always turn into something, but Walsh punts it away. It's a line drive picked up by Rose at the 20-yard line, and Rose is smothered right away. Looks like Carl Rillo in there, along with some of the other New Bedford Whalers on special teams.
I'll tell you one thing, Paul. Carl Grillo has come today ready to play, already with 3 tackles. We're already just about halfway through the first quarter. 2 on defense, 1 on special teams.
Tyson Bland-Allen and Kevin Cabral also in there, and you see Grillo, who's had a nice game so far.
Carl Grillo, a class act as well.
So Durfee will take over with their 3rd possession of the day. 1st and 10 at their own 23-yard line. 4:20 to go here in the first quarter. B.J. McDonald, quick hitter up the middle. That appears to be Seth Loro, the 5'10", 180-pound senior, getting a pretty good thrust over the interior of his offensive line. And that's a gain of about 4.
And the fog is definitely starting to pick up more and more as the game progresses here. It's getting to a point now where even the Durfee side of the bleachers now is really starting to become covered with fog. Hopefully it'll stop or lighten up.
2nd down and 6. Ball spotted at the Durfee 27-yard line. Split backfield this time behind sophomore quarterback B.J. McDonald. 2 wideouts. Quick counter this way. That's the halfback. Gets down to about the 35-yard line. And that's number 11 carrying that time, Tim Powers. Marcel Canary, Grillo, Alexander Grande coming up with the stop, but it is enough for a first down for Durfee.
Tim Powers, very, very valuable to this Durfee Hilltoppers team. Not only is he a halfback, he's also one of their cornerbacks, and he's also their punter, their extra point kicker, and their field goal kicker. So very, very valuable to Steve Wynarski's squad here.
And you know what? He's a sophomore, just like the quarterback, B.J. McDonald, so you're going to be hearing those two names for the next couple of years. First and 10, Durfee at their own 35. B.J. McDonald. Handoff this time to the halfback. Is that Seth? No, that's Brendan Rose again. I'll tell you, with all the mud on those white jerseys, the 20 and the 28 looking very similar, and they seem to be very similar in terms of how dangerous they are, but he carries past the 40-yard line. It's a gain of about 6. Durfee moving the ball on the ground.
Keeping it on the ground, and at the same time as well, keeping the clock running, with Durfee winning 7-0 right now. We'll see what happens as the game progresses, but right now New Bedford's defense has snuffed out the run with the exception of that first down they just accomplished, but nonetheless.
Laurel's the fullback, and the halfback is Rose, and Rose has the ball. Rose near the 45-yard line. It looks like he's going to be short. He does have a 3-yard gain. Again, Grillo coming in with the stop for New Bedford. Also in on the tackle for New Bedford, Chris Grande, number 66. So Durfee moving the ball fairly effectively up the middle over the last few minutes. They're in a nice situation here on the 3rd and 1 at the 44-yard line. So they're in a great position here to get the first down. Corey Albergania wide to the left, but it's going to be a quarterback sneak.
And he's stuffed.
Well, I don't know. It all depends on
the spot,
where they spot the ball. We saw that before down near the end zone where there was a big pile up, and it looked like we couldn't tell if he was going to be in the end zone. So it looks like they did get enough of a thrust, and the second first down of this Durfee drive.
Here's McDonald on the keeper. Stopped initially, Paul, and that's when I thought, but watch, the extra little push right there by both he and his offensive line. Get the first down. Excellent effort there by McDonald and his offensive line.
First and 10 now at the 46, the second first down of this drive. We have a handoff to the halfback. Big movement along the left, and the carry by Tim Powers. Powers past the 50-yard line into enemy territory. Marcel Canary in on the stop for New Bedford along with Matt White, the junior. So Timothy Powers, that was the guy that we didn't think was going to be carrying that often. He was just a sophomore. He is a sophomore. He also kicks, but pretty good aggressiveness, very quick around the corner.
Absolutely, and this is foreshadowing of what we're going to see the next 2 years in the Thanksgiving Day game with Powers.
Tim Wynarski, of course, likes that ball control offense, keep the ball away from New Bedford. That's what they're trying to do now in the 2nd down and 4. Once again, it's to Rose. Rose down past the 48-yard line. Rose is very close to the first down marker, but again, he's going to be short. Wait a minute, let's see where they spot the ball.
They gave him the first.
First down.
Durfee keeps on pounding the ball on the ground, Paul. 3 straight first downs off the ground. McDonald hasn't thrown it once, and there's nothing tricky about the repertoire here of Wynarski's offense. Just right up the middle, halfback draws. Not even running the option, but nonetheless, it's working. They're getting the first down, and they lead 7-0.
Straight ahead power football is what Durfee is playing here so far. First and 10, ball at the NB 44-yard line. This is Rose. Past the line of scrimmage. Not really much of a gain that time. Alex Grande around the end. Carl Grillo, Kyle Gannett, Seamus Pendergrast, all closing up the area around that right side. So it'll be a 2nd down and 8 for Durfee. And the first quarter comes to an end. At the end of the first quarter, it's Durfee 7 and New Bedford nothing. The only score of the game was a 1-yard quarterback sneak by Durfee sophomore quarterback B.J. McDonald. It came on the heels of a little bit of a New Bedford mistake when they couldn't punt the ball out of their own territory, and Durfee recovered the ball at the 2. And that's the only score of the quarter, Ian.
And New Bedford, it behooves them to really not play, all out, in-your-face football right now. I mean, they might still want to play conservative only because They're only losing 7-0. I mean, because don't forget, too, if they try to play really, really running gun offense here, try a couple of passes, try a couple of quick routes, and they get a couple of turnovers, or you never know what could happen. Durfee gets the ball and scores 14, 10-0, whatever. But the point I'm trying to make is this. Durfee gets the ball back to start the second half. Of course, people forget that because Durfee got the ball so quickly on the fumble by Grillo that went off his leg. So it behooves New Bedford to really play conservative football here on the ground, really watch what they're doing, and if they go into the locker room down 7-0 or 7-3, so what? There's still a lot of football left to be played.
Nice crowd on hand considering the weather conditions today. Yesterday when we were listening to the weather reports, a lot of them said that it was going to rain most of the morning, but the rain actually has slowed down. It's just a little drizzly. I'm not sure that it's raining much at all right now. And the thing is, as we pointed out, temperatures around 60 degrees, so it's actually pretty comfortable for the fans that have come out here today, both from New Bedford and Fall River, and a lot of them are still on their way in.
Good to see a lot of New Bedford High alumni here as well. We have Michael Antunes, an old defensive lineman for the Whalers who played last year. You have Lance Lopez, an offensive guard who played last year. They're also here in attendance with Matt Okalski, another outside linebacker who played last year. And Durfee's going to call their second time out.
So the Hilltoppers have decided to call timeout before they could even run a play to start the second quarter. Ordinarily, you would have prepared for that during the break, so kind of interesting to see them coming right out and calling a timeout, but there may have been something observed or some kind of confusion. Better to play it safe with the many timeouts that you're awarded. Durfee now in that wing T, B.J. McDonald. Double handoff, and it goes back the other way to Powers. Powers past the 40-yard line, who took the handoff from Laurel the other way. That was a pretty good gain of about 7 yards for the Hilltoppers that time.
Not a complete end around, but again, double handoff there. Powers took it and gained 6 yards. It's now 3rd and 3 at the Whalers' 37-yard line. This right here just may be the biggest stop of the game here for the Whalers if they can do it.
Durfee just grinding it out right now, but you have to think they've had all these third down conversions, and you have to think eventually New Bedford will stop them on third down. 3rd down and 3 at the 37 for the Hilltoppers. McDonald to the fullback, and he is hit hard by the Whalers. That was Matt White, number 57, coming up strong, putting the hit on number 20, Brandon Rose, setting up a 4th down.
They might be a yard short, and yes, they are according to our referees. It's now 4th down according to the chains. It's 4th and 1.
Head referee today, Charlie Ashley. The rest of the officials, Trevor Ashley, George Boardman.
Here's a look at it right here, Paul. Didn't mean to cut you off. You see Rose getting taken down by Matt White, number 57. White, 5'7", 180-pound junior. He'll be back next year. He'll make up some of the nucleus that will make up the Whalers next year.
Roland Cole, Brian Wood, and here in the booth, the official timekeeper, Bob Bach. Doing a nice job today on this Thanksgiving morning. And Durfee now in 4-down territory. So on a 4th and 2 from the enemy 36, they will go for it. See Powers there slotted out to the right. They're in the I formation. And now we have a flag on the play. There was some movement on the line.
I believe it's going to be false start on Durfee, and yes it is. It's going to be false start on number 67, Chris Medeiros. Their offensive tackle, their right tackle, just jumped the gun, and they're going to get pushed back 5 yards.
Big mistake right there for the Hilltoppers because they did have the 4th down and 3, and that changes that, of course. Well, we had it as a 4th and 2, now it's 4th and 7, so that changes the strategy. The Durfee Hilltoppers are going to set up in punt formation. Stefan Gomes back deep at about the 10-yard line for New Bedford. Very high snap. Powers has to backpedal. Gets it away from his own 45-yard line. Ball bounces at the 20. Goes out of bounds near the 20-yard line. So
looks like they're going to spot it at the 19, but nonetheless, not a bad punt, Paul, considering on the bad snap.
Pretty athletic young man, this sophomore Timothy Powers. Had to backpedal by about 5 yards, but is able to get it away. And I'll tell you, game of mistakes so far. Durfee capitalizing on a New Bedford mistake, and right there, Durfee in golden opportunity to continue that drive and that false start. That could come back to haunt them.
And we'll see what New Bedford brings to the table here offensively. If they play conservative, as I said, they should, but of course, no, why would they listen to me? But nonetheless, we'll see if they go to the air game. Of course, we know Rebello says bring it on if they have the air game, but we'll see.
Hand off to the halfback, Jared Santos. Straight up the middle. Not a lot of room on the inside. Durfee closing that area up pretty well. Justin Souza the linebacker, the senior 210-pounder, coming up for the stop for Durfee.
Yeah, they've been stopping the running game of Jared Santos wearing 27 today. They've stopped his running game continuously here this afternoon. I think it's time maybe you start going to grill the fullback, or you start doing a couple of option, or just try something different here via the power eye. We'll see what happens here, but Jared Santos just isn't getting it done right now here thus far in the first half.
Gomes and Canary are your wide receivers. Kyle Grillo is the fullback, Jared Santos the tailback. Quarterback Andrew Rubello. Durfee jumping offside, it appears, and here's a run up the middle by Jared Santos. Santos past the 30-yard line. He looks like he's in first down territory. It appeared to me that that was going against Durfee. I didn't see any movement on the New Bedford line, but let's see which way it goes.
Jared Santos, 5'9", 151-pound senior, and it is offside against Durfee.
There he is right there.
And that was Russell Jackson, number 79.
You see him trying to get back, and he was in the neutral zone, kind of balancing himself, but was not able to get back. So a first down, New Bedford.
The rain really coming down now hard, Paulie. As you fans can see it at home, it's really becoming a factor now.
I guess we spoke too soon a few seconds ago.
Yeah, we should have knocked on wood, Paul. Didn't knock on wood.
First and 10 at the 33. Ribello going to throw. Has a man, and it's caught in first down territory. 82, that's Stefan Gomes, a gain of 12. New Bedford passing with the pouring rain and executing it well.
Stefan Gomes running the quick route, almost a skinny post, in the respect that he ran up, slanted out, thus making a skinny post. Watch right here, Paul. Slanted right out, and number 38 for the Hilltoppers, Justin Whiting, couldn't catch up to him.
First and 10 at the New Bedford 44. A real downpour right now. Andrew Ribello has Canary now coming in motion. Ribello rolling out to his left, has some time, throws, and he has Stefan Gomes again. Ball is loose, and the Durfee Hilltoppers have fallen on the football. Oh, that's unfortunate there, but again, the rainy conditions, the ball slips out of the hand. You see Andrew Ribello asking the official if he was down, and the ruling goes for Durfee.
Another what could have, what should have been for the Whalers. You see right here, good protection, first of all, by Santos. You can see Ribello out of the pocket, finds Gomes right here. Ooh, his knees might have been down, Paul. Nonetheless, our officials call it a fumble, and it's pounced on by 45, Andrew DiMando.
So the Hilltoppers right now with another break. They have the ball first and 10 at their own 40. Handoff to Powers. Sweeping to the left. Down to the 45-yard line. Again, Durfee seems to be gaining pretty well with their running game, both straight ahead to the middle and east and west around the side. Picks up 5 yards.
Shame, too, also, Paul, because the Whalers had just completed 2 first downs in a row, one off the Santos run. Then you had another one off the Gomes, then another one off a Gomes reception. And it looked as though the offense was really beginning to click, but then another turnover, their third of the game so far. And as a result, Durfee gets the ball back.
Durfee in the wing T, quick hitter straight up the middle. Alex Grande is in there as well as Seamus Pendergrass. Seth Loro, no gain, I believe, as they hold them pretty much at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and the weather really, really becoming a factor now. Now the field is really becoming a sloppy mess. And the smart fans who came brought their umbrellas. And I know if I came, I wouldn't have brought my umbrella because, you know, I'm a naive guy, Paul. I'm very stubborn. But the smart ones came with their umbrellas, and good for them.
We were expecting downpours throughout most of the morning. And we were hoping that that little lull a moment ago would continue, but right now it's pouring. The Whalers need a big third down play on defense, and they've got the fans into it. Third down and 4. McDonald hands off to the tailback. Seth Loro gains about 1 yard. Big stop here for New Bedford. As Marcel Canary, one of the stoppers along with Kyle Gannett.
He'll be about 2 yards shy, Paulie, taken down by a whole slew of linebackers. Gannett, Rodricks, everyone was in on the tackle. Matt White, they just stuffed the D-line and blitzed from the outside and stopped them.
So now the ball is at the Durfee Hilltopper 49-yard line. Not really deep enough, I don't think, to go for it on fourth down, and you still have They're marking it as 4th and 1, but it looks more like 4th and 2. It's a long one, and they are setting up as if to go for it here. This is a gutsy move. It's a pitch. Oh, and he punts it away with no one down there back deep.
Yeah.
Ball goes all the way down inside the 10. Good play by Durfee, and a nice job by, I believe, Powers got that away.
You know, and you could almost see it coming, Paulie, almost because you had Powers all alone in the backfield, and you could almost say maybe, no one's in the back, no one's in the secondary for the Whalers, and as a result, Powers just snapped it away. And very, very smart play, and that's one of the surprises we were talking about, Paul, that Runarski was telling us before game time. And there's a surprise right there. Off the handoff, you had McDonald tossing it right back to Powers, and Powers with a decent punt, pinning the Whalers back at their 8-yard line.
You gotta like that call, a good time to do that. A 7-0 game, field position here big, of course. The old quick kick. 1st and 10, New Bedford at the 8-yard line. Hand off to Kyle Grillo. No, Kevin Cabral in there now at the fullback position. He was not going to be playing too much fullback today because he's banged up a little bit, mostly on defense, but hey, he does lead the team in touchdowns with 5, and the Whalers need some points.
Of course, Kevin Cabral, as you were saying, does lead the team in touchdowns, and he's a big back out of the backfield. Kevin Cabral, he is a 5'7", 180-pound junior. So we'll see what happens now with Cabral now, out there, number 26. You see him in the backfield for the Whalers.
He's in the tailback position with Kyle Grillo in the fullback position. It's like Gannett in motion. Here's a handoff to Grillo. Cabral again, I'm sorry, number 26. All right, the ball now at the 14-yard line, gain of a couple more. So this sets up a 3rd down situation for New Bedford in about 4.
And one would think a passing situation, but yet you might not think that'd be a smart idea because you never want to take any chances, especially with the weather and players slipping and winds blowing left to right a little bit from what we can feel here outside our booth. So we'll see if they're confident enough in either Santos, Cabral, or Grillo to get 5 yards off an option or off the power I, or if they're just going to try passing here in a quick route.
Grillo's still the fullback. Jared Santos now back at the tailback position. 3rd down and 4. And now we have movement on the offensive line, I believe. It appears to be a false start against New Bedford.
Alex Grande is going to get nailed for it, Paul. Anticipated the snap count and stood right up.
Doesn't appear as if the Whaler offense has really gotten into gear. That last possession that they had when they had the ball at midfield completed 2 nice passes in a row. It's just that the ball was jarred loose on the hit. Very slippery football, but time is marching on here. 3:26 to go in the half.
See Grande,
here's a replay.
Grande right there, the right guard. Just jumping the gun.
3rd and 9 now. Passing situation with Gomes and Canary as the wide receivers. And it's a quarterback option. Rebello breaks it. Nice call by the Whaler offense. They gain 10, and they get the 1st down on the running play. Nice job by the Whalers.
This time, Rebello keeping it himself off the option and making the plays happen himself and gets the 1st down on a key run.
Looking like a obvious passing situation, and the quarterback fires out on the option and gets the 1st down and a gain of 10. There you see Rebello getting into enemy territory. Takes a little bit of a hit by Russell Jackson, the defensive end. 1st and 10, New Bedford at their own 23. Rebello across to Stefan Gomes, and Stefan Gomes hit hard just inside the 30-yard line. That's number 21 of the Hilltoppers, Kyle Correa, the defensive back.
And that's always dangerous when you throw those high passes and you got to jump up and catch them because you're airborne and you can get nailed, and Lord knows only what could happen to you, especially with the weather. You know, the person tackling you could slip. Dangerous conditions here, but it's football, it's Thanksgiving. We're going to keep on rolling on here.
See Dennis Golden on the sidelines. That's a successful play, though, as they did gain 7. 2nd down and 3 for New Bedford. I formation and 2 wide outs to the right. Rebello on the option. Pitches back to Jared Santos. In 1st down territory. He'll have a gain of 10 yards to the 40-yard line. 1st down, New Bedford on a fine run by tailback Jared Santos, the senior.
Santos off the halfback toss, gets the 1st down. one of the first times today Santos has actually broke out to the open and actually gained more than 5 yards. And the Whalers have another first down, and watch. Off the option, halfback toss. And you see number 39, Kilby, trying to catch up to Santos and can't do it. Finally is taken down by number 40, Mike Jones.
You see one of the assistant coaches going head over heels.
Wipe out.
Some years back, I did have the assignment of shooting some video along the sidelines.
And you got wiped out.
I have to say, I never got wiped out. I did run for my life a couple of times, though.
You know, walking up to the booth today, Paul, you and I were discussing this. Like, we were both fearing that we'd fall down and take a tremendous digger because the bleachers are kind of wet and slippery here today. Fortunately, we didn't make a fool of ourselves.
Grillo and Santos behind the quarterback. 2 wideouts to the left. Play action. Little swing pass to Stephon Gomes. Stephon Gomes can't get past the 45-yard lines as he's pushed out of bounds by Brandon Rose, who's playing both ways here for the Hilltoppers, doing a nice job standing him up man-to-man.
Looks as though he might have gained a yard or a half yard, maybe.
So they pick up maybe about 4 as the Whalers call a timeout.
Yeah, a little more than I thought. They picked up 3 according to the score. It's 2nd and 7.
There you see the uniforms. A lot of kids, of course, don't want to play on a bad weather Thanksgiving Day, but look, this is football. It's time to get down and dirty in the mud. Even head coach Golden is wet out there. He's not dirty, but he's wet.
And you have to think too, Paul, I mean, the rain and the slush, it almost creates this aura of New England football on Thanksgiving Day with the tradition. Going back to the 1890s, it's really, really good to see a game like this, you know.
2nd and 7 from the 45. Whalers with a 3 wide receiver set. Rebello getting protection. He's going to run the ball. And he's in first down territory, gain of about 8 yards. We talked about this before the game. Andrew Rebello, very smart quarterback, good head on his shoulders. He's rolling out. He's got all those wide receivers, but he knew he could make it into first down territory and kept the football.
Here he is again, off the fake handoff to Cabral, and watch, he'll take it himself, get the first down. And of course, in high school football, you don't have to get out of bounds to stop the clock, even though he did. The first down in itself will stop the clock. So at 1:32 left, the Whalers are cruising with the ball at the Hilltoppers' own 45-yard line. And Drew Dwelly just checks in for the Whalers. So one would begin to think that maybe we'll see a couple of slant patterns by the receiving core here because Dwelly is very, very fast.
Ryan Roderickson, Drew Dwelly checking into the game as wide receivers. Andrew Rebello dropping back, under siege. Ducks one man, but eventually runs out of time as he is sacked and thrown for a loss. Several different Durfee Hilltopper players in there, starting with Russell Jackson and Craig Willett, the defensive end, who is one of the co-captains.
If Rebello had gotten rid of the ball about 2 seconds earlier, he would have had Ryan Rodricks all alone in the middle of the field. Not for the first down, but at least for a good 4 or 5 yard gain. Rodricks was right here. You won't see him at your screen. But Rebello hung on to the ball a little too long. You didn't see him. And finally he's taken down by Russell Jackson amongst many others.
Chris Medeiros and Thomas Kilby also contributing to that sack for Durfee. We have a timeout on the field. 2nd down and 14. New Bedford now at the 49-yard line of Durfee. 1:21 to go here in the half, and scoring has been down a little bit. A lot of mistakes back and forth, and Durfee capitalizing on that one New Bedford mistake. But right now, New Bedford would like to get into the end zone here before the half as they're down 7-zip.
At least bring the ball down to the Durfee 20, 25-yard line. Try to see if maybe Tim Charbonneau can, you know, hit a little knuckler over the crossbar, at least get on the scoreboard, make it 7-3. So at least going into the locker room, you know that you're on the board, you're getting back into the game. But even if they don't score here, I mean, it's not all bad for the Whalers because now they know they can actually run and they can actually make attempts at scoring on the Durfee High defense here. And they've shown signs of vulnerability here, and we'll see if New Bedford can take it to them here with the last minute of the half and for the rest of the game.
Canary and Stephon Gomes are your wide receivers. Looks like Kevin Cabral is in the backfield now again. Fans really into it now on the 2nd down and 14. Rebello over the middle. And the ball is incomplete. I thought for sure that Tyson Bland Allen, the tight end, the 6'1", 256-pound junior, got his arms under there, but the ball did skid in front of him.
Yeah, Tyson Bland Allen just couldn't get his arms under it. I was watching it on the monitor here, and you can see here, Paul, watch. It just hits the ground barely right before. Yep, see?
You can see it really clearly on the monitor. Sometimes you can see it better on the monitor than you can looking out of the field.
So why don't we just close the window, Paul, not get rained on, watch the tube.
That's a compliment to our Cracker Jack staff of camera people here.
Well, they always do a good job, cable access and WIMC TV.
So 3rd down and 14, ball at the Durfee 49-yard line. Whaley's now in a 3 wide receiver set. Rebello rolling out to his left. Gets it away, and it bounces in front of Drew Dwelly again. And you have to think that he's underthrowing most of the time, and it's going to be difficult. The pouring rain, the slippery ball, and the slippery field conditions.
And it's no secret, Paul, you have to put pressure on Rebello, because once he gets out of the pocket, he's not as effective. But once he gets pressure and he's inside his own pocket, watch out. And that's what Durfee's been doing for the better part of the first half. Blitzing, blitzing, blitzing from the outside. Thus, he has to rush out of the pocket, and a lot of his passes have either sailed over the receivers' heads or they've just been short hopped.
Number 7, Mike Walsh, the 6 foot, 150-pound sophomore, is prepared to punt the ball, and the Hilltoppers are calling timeout. We have 1:07 to go. Interesting situation here. Head coach Steve Winarski, you wonder what his thinking might be. Is he going to take that 1 minute left, depending on what kind of field position that he has? Is he going to try to do something and get another score here with limited time?
It's a tough call, Paul. I don't know if they're going to really try to go to the air here or try to keep it on the ground. I think you keep it on the ground, whatever happens, happens, and as a result, too, you keep the clock moving and go into the half, knowing that you're up 7-0. I mean, that's a big boost. Considering
the weather conditions today, nice crowd on hand, and a lot of them were smart. You see them huddled under all of the umbrellas there on the near side of the field, and as we've pointed out, it's not cold. If you have an umbrella, you're in great shape because it's not cold at all.
And our press box also is starting to become more and more crowded, Paul. We have a little more members than just of the media up here now.
If you can sneak in, sneak in.
Why not? Everyone run for cover.
Walsh punting from his own 40. Nice punt into enemy territory. Takes a New Bedford bounce down inside the 20, taken at about the 17. So that may affect head coach Winarski's decision with the ball at the 17. If the ball had bounced the other way and he got it a little bit farther ahead, maybe he'd do something different. But the ball is being spotted in Durfee territory, so they'll take over 1st and 10.
I think now you just run the ball if you were Winarski. Keep the clock running. Maybe something can happen. You can break a tackle, but if you don't, oh, well, the clock runs down. You go in the locker room up 7-0. Of course, granted, you don't fumble or have any turnovers, because that could happen as well. I mean, anything can happen in the realm of sports.
1st and 10 Hilltoppers, and they will take a knee with less than a minute to play. So that answers that question. I think the field position had a lot to do with it down at the 17.
Very conservative, Paul. I thought running would be conservative, but Winarski playing very, very, very conservative here. And who could blame him? His team is 2-7, and you're playing for pride, and you want to win the quote-unquote Super Bowl of the high school season, the Thanksgiving Day game. So do what you got to do. Get into the half with the lead.
Of course, one argument might be if you played it safe with a relatively conservative run, there's always a possibility that either Rose or Lauro could break a big one. But he's decided to play it safe and get out of here with that 7-0 lead. That's what the coaches always say. Let's get out of here with that.
And the players are getting out of here. They go in the locker room.
So we're under 10 seconds now. The clock will run out. And at the end of the first half, the Durfee Hilltoppers have a 7-0 lead over the New Bedford Whalers. Entertaining half of football. Of course, I think, Ian, from watching this game so far here at Walsh Field, you have to notice a couple of things. The mistakes that the Whalers have made early on cost them. There was one play where Durfee kicked off, New Bedford not able to get a handle to it. They recovered. Didn't result in any points for Durfee, but it set up a field position situation. And then, of course, the Whalers not being able to punt near their own end zone. Durfee gets it at the 2. They run it in from there.
And that's what happened on the botch snap. It went to Walsh. Walsh couldn't handle it. Went down to the Whalers' 2-yard line. 2 plays later, B.J. McDonald scored. And then you have Powers with the extra point. As a result, it's 7-0 Durfee. And Durfee gets the ball back to start the half, which is key because one would think New Bedford was going to not get the ball, but they fumbled on the first play. Carl Grillo fumbled. Durfee got the ball back right away, and as a result, Durfee will get the ball back again. So, I don't know, it's not favoring the Whalers right now, but we'll see what happens with another half of football left.
Well, we talked to head coach Steve Winarski, and it just seems as if over the past few years, the Hilltoppers have played better here at Walsh Field for whatever reason. In the last 4 Thanksgiving Day games, Durfee has won the 2 here, and New Bedford's won the 2 there, so
which is
here's
quite
New Bedford
ironic.
behind again.
Quite ironic, and also, too, when we come back to start the second half, I'm going to go over some of the other local Thanksgiving Day games, and we'll have stats. So it should be a good second half of football, Paul. You ready?
Yes, we are ready for the second half, and if New Bedford can move the football like they did in one of those drives with all those nice passes and runs, but without the turnover, I think the Whalers can still put up some points here in the second half, so we'll see what happens. At the end of the first half, it's Durfee 7 and New Bedford nothing. Stand by. The second half is coming up here on Thanksgiving Day in just a moment. The traditional Thanksgiving Day matchup between the Whalers and the Hilltoppers. Durfee out in front by a score of 7-0, and Whalers did have some positives, however, on offense here and there, but unfortunately it was the mistakes that killed them.
Well, a lot of mistakes as we dissected over and over again, Paul, in the first half. He had the botched snap, the Grillo fumble, the Dwelly fumble, but let's not stay on that too much longer. It's a new half. Let's concentrate on the positive. Positively, the Whalers played the first half of football, 11 plays offensively, 56 total yards. Not all that bad, but yet no score to show for it. Still losing 7-0. Leading the way for the Whalers rushing, of course, number 2/number 27 today, Jared Santos. He has 31 rushing yards right now and 7 carries, so he's setting the tone for the offense. And on the Durfee side of the ball, we have, obviously, Brandon Rose, number 20 yards for 7 carries. And we have Timothy Powers, as we mentioned earlier, Paul, doing everything. 23 yards on 5 carries. Powers rushing, he's punting, he's kicking extra points. So offensively, both teams have come here ready to play, but a lot of turnovers, and it's still a close game, 7-0 in favor of the Hilltoppers.
The only scoring came in the first quarter as Durfee took advantage of that botched punt. They took over at the New Bedford 2-yard line. And 3 plays later, B.J. McDonald takes it in from the 1-yard line. The young sophomore quarterback, Tim Powers, with the point after touchdown. And that's where we are, Durfee 7-0. And interesting strategy at the beginning of the game. Steve Winarski, the Durfee head coach, winning the toss, but opting to defer to the second half. So Durfee has the lead, and they'll get the ball.
And who would have thunk it, Paul? But everything turned out so perfect for Winarski. He deferred, as you said. He kicked off, and Grillo fumbled on the very first play of the game, the kickoff, and they got the ball back. So one would think they won the toss anyway. And everything is really falling into the Hilltoppers' lap here. And right now they're cruising to their 3rd win, but we'll see what happens. The Whalers have shown that they're a resilient team all year long under Dennis Golden, and that's why they're 4-5.
Whalers certainly the favorite team coming in today. They have a record of 4-5, looking to finish the season with a winning record at 500, 5-5. Durfee at 2-7-1, but they pulled off a couple of pretty good upsets. I think one of them was Barnstable, so they're capable of coming up with a big win, and they're trying to do that today here at Walsh Field.
And also, Paul, a game I had to cover for the newspaper about, well, first of all, there's the big 3 standings. You have Brockton up on top. That's no surprise there. And then you have New Bedford and Durfee. But as I was saying, the Hilltoppers are trailing the Dartmouth High Indians 14-0, Paul, with less than 5 minutes left. And the Hilltoppers scored. Onside kick, they got the ball back and scored again. Less than 10 seconds left. They tied, thus making their only tie of the season. So this team can score with the flip of the switch.
Blake Youngblood kicking off for New Bedford from his own 40. And the ball is dropped, but now it's picked up by Rose inside his own 10 to the 15 to the 20. And he's gang tackled by New Bedford's special teams players with not much of a gain. Tommy Chow, one of the stoppers, the young sophomore for New Bedford.
And New Bedford's not the only team that plays on Thanksgiving Day as well as Durfee. All the local matchups, well, first of all, here's the replay. You see the fumble by Thomas Kilby, and it's picked up by Davari. No, excuse me, that was Rose who picked it up, and it gets taken down. But nonetheless, some of the other matchups locally, you have Fairhaven against Dartmouth. That's taking place at Dartmouth. ORR at Apponequet. Bishop staying at Vogue, and Bourne at Wareham.
1st and 10 Durfee. Quick hitter that time. That's going to be a gain of a good 9 yards. He may have even got past the first down marker. We'll have to see where they spot it. That's a huge gain up the middle on the first run. That's a gain of 11. And a first down Durfee, and I believe that was Rose with the ball.
Seemed as though the Whalers defense sort of broke down on that one, Paul. Rose went right up the middle. First of all, excellent protection by the offensive line by the Hilltoppers.
So first and 10 Durfee now. The ball at the Durfee 34-yard line. Again, we have a split backfield. Quick hitter to the fullback this time. A little bit of room. That's a gain of about 7-8 yards into the New Bedford secondary. And that was number 28, Seth Lauro that time. And they'll give him about a 9-yard gain. So Durfee continuing to pound the inside with some success.
That's how they got their first down here of the third quarter. And that's how they're cruising again to another first down, 2nd and 1. And you can see right here.
So it's a 2nd down and 1, they call it, at the 43-yard line. Man in motion. And a handoff goes straight up the middle. Ball carried past the 45-yard line. Looks like he has a 2-yard gain, enough for the first down. So the Hilltoppers continuing to move the ball. And that time, number 28, Seth Lauro on the carry. Seth Lauro wearing 28, Rose 20. And with the covered uniforms, as you can see, look at Grillo.
Old blood and guts himself,
Very tough to tell.
Old blood and guts himself, Carl Grillo, setting the tone. He is absolutely filthy, but that shows you what kind of a game he's playing. The dirtier you get in a game like this, I think the better you're playing.
Handoff to the right. Past the line of scrimmage. That's going to be Brandon Rose. Only a couple that time. Kyle Gannett down there. The Bedford Whalers, number 57, also helping out, Matt White. So that time only a 2-yard gain for the Hilltoppers. Key point in the ball game, Durfee up 7-0. New Bedford needs a stop here. It's become a low-scoring affair, partly because of the field conditions. Right now the field is in difficult shape, very wet, but the rain has stopped.
Big difference from last year's game, Paul, at McAldridge Field, where you had no defense who could stop anything. It was a high-scoring game between both teams. The Whalers finally pulled it out. Very different from this year's game.
Quick hitter up the middle. And it's broken by the Hilltoppers, and this is going to go for a long run. All the way down to the 2-yard line. The ball is fumbled, but the officials have called it, I believe, down at the 2-yard line. It is down at the 2-yard line. The Whalers are hoping that that was a fumble because the Whalers ended up recovering it, but he's ruled down.
His knees hit the ground as soon as he hit the 2-yard line, unfortunately. See right here, watch. They give us to Brandon Rose, number 20. And Rose breaks all sorts of tackles. Right by Gannett, he goes right past Grillo. You see right there past Stefan Gomes. Now watch, his right knee is down, then he fumbles. As a result, his knee's down, ball's down.
Quarterback keeper by B.J. McDonald, very close to the goal line. We'll have to see where they spot it. I do not see any signal by the official indicating touchdown, so it is going to be a 2nd and goal now at the 1-yard line, a gain of 1.
More like the 1-inch line, Paul, and here it is again. His right knee was down, then fumbled.
Fumbled as it hit the ground.
Exactly, and a very unfortunate break for the Whalers, but a very fortunate break for Steve Wynarski. And Steve Wynarski's squad, they are getting the benefit of everything here this afternoon.
Again, it's a quarterback keeper by B.J. McDonald, getting pushed from behind by Seth Lauro, who set up directly behind the sophomore quarterback. A big pile up right near the goal line, and we don't see any indication from the official yet. And it looks like he is still going to be down at the 1-yard line. 3rd and 1. Whalers need a big goal line stand here.
And we are talking, Paul, at literally, we are talking at the 1-inch line at best. It is right along the goal line. The Whalers in search of a big stop.
So it's 3rd and goal at the 1-yard line, 7:13 and counting here in the 3rd quarter. Sophomore quarterback B.J. McDonald brings them out. And again, they try the quarterback keeper.
I think he got it this time with the 2nd push.
There was a lot of movement from the offensive side of the ball, but it's a touchdown for Durfee. their second of the game, again by quarterback McDonald. And Durfee now has 13 as they lead the Whalers 13-0.
B.J. McDonald on the quarterback keeper. Give him 2 touchdowns here on the afternoon. And again, almost like the first touchdown he scored, stopped initially, but then the second effort, right here, watch. Second effort, watch, stopped, but then he's pushed actually from the back from Brandon Rose, and that's what propelled him to over the goal line. 13-0 Hilltoppers with 6:54 left in the third quarter.
Tim Powers will attempt the extra point now for the Hilltoppers. And Tim Powers pretty much straight ahead, but it falls short in front of the crossbar. He had the right direction, but just didn't have enough power on it. So it's 13-0 Durfee. 6:54 to go here in the third quarter. Still plenty of time, not time to panic yet, but New Bedford really needs to move the ball and take good care of the football here as we continue onward. A little bit of a surprise. I think most people were thinking the Whalers coming in as the favorites here, that they'd be able to get the W here on Thanksgiving Day. Again, a lot of time left to go, and the Whalers definitely need to score on one of the next couple of possessions.
Plenty of time left, Paul. 6:54 left, as you said, and whole fourth quarter left. And with an offense with players such as Rebello and Grillo and Santos and Dwelly and Canary, they can score a couple of touchdowns awfully fast. The Whalers, as I said, are averaging anywhere from 14 to 17 to 20 points a game around that vicinity. So we'll see what happens. Again, this Whalers offense, like the Hilltoppers offense, can just light it up with the drop of a hat. So should be interesting here, the next quarter and a half of football here on Thanksgiving Day. And luckily, the overcast and the clouds have cleared in the fog, and it's clear and the rain has stopped.
Tim Powers kicking off from his own 40-yard line, a very short kick. Oh, the ball is loose again. And the Whalers did recover the ball. That was dangerous as the ball was almost jarred loose there. Number 36, Antoine Murphy, just barely able to keep control of it, and the Whalers have good field position. Dangerous, though.
Here it is again. Murphy drops it and gets right back onto it. And number 23, Ray Devare, actually had the ball, but Murphy snatched it right back out of his hand. And clutch play there by Murphy to get the ball back.
Matt White in there helping out for New Bedford. So the Whalers take over 1st and 10 at their own 44-yard line. 6:49 to go in the third quarter. Durfee up 13-0 here on Thanksgiving Day. Andrew Abello handing it to Jared Santos. Oh, and Jared Santos spun for a 3-yard loss. Terrific pursuit by the Hilltoppers that time as they get into the New Bedford backfield.
Defensive end Corey Albergaria will be responsible for the tackle, number 80. Albergaria, 6 foot, 175-pound defensive end.
So they spot the ball that time as a 2-yard loss. It's at the 42, so it'll be 2nd and 12 for the Whalers. They've got Marcel Canary and Stefan Gomes wide to the right. Grillo and Santos behind Andrew Rebello. Rebello looking to throw the ball. And it is off the fingertips of the intended receiver, Stefan Gomes, who was on the other side of the 50-yard line. It looked like Marcel Canary actually was more open down here, but the ball goes over the middle and it's incomplete.
And that's just the play Golden and the Whalers wanted. You have Rebello with all sorts of protection, all alone in the pocket, and he just slightly overthrows the pass. But don't get me wrong, it's still a pass that Dwelly maybe should have came down with. But of course, with the mud and the slippery conditions, it makes it even more difficult. But nonetheless, it was a dropped pass, or an incompletion, whatever you want to call it. But it's 3rd and 13 now for the Whalers, and now they're almost in a must for a passing situation.
3rd and 13 at their own 42. Rebello, play action to the tailback. Nice pass to Kevin Cabral. Cabral past the 50 into Durfee Hilltopper territory, perhaps to the 48. He is still going to be short of the first down, however, and that's going to set up a 4th down.
I think now it's time, if you're Golden, you go for it. It's 4th and 1 at the Durfee 42-yard line. I mean, now it's time you start playing conservative. You're down by 2 scores. Let's make it happen. And you can see Rebello here rolling out. Good protection, by the way, by Santos, and then you can see Cabral with the reception, getting 11 yards. Very, very clutch, and taken down by 84 Alex Menard.
Huge point in the ball game now. 4th and 1. It's a long one, though. And now we have a timeout on the field called by the New Bedford Whalers. Good time to call a timeout, clearly, as this is huge. 5:11 to go in the third quarter. New Bedford needs this first down and needs points.
With Kyle Gannett checking into the game now, he's probably going to check in at fullback with Grillo, either here or Santos. And you might see an option here with either Gannett or Cabral, or even Grillo, whoever they want to run out there. You just might see the option. That might be their best option right now, is to run the option. We'll see what happens.
Kyle Gannett in the backfield along with Grillo and Santos. No wide receivers. Quick hitter. No, play action. Pass. Has Gannett. Kyle Gannett with the reception and a first down in enemy territory at the 37. Great play. Great call by the Whalers.
Kyle Gannett got 1 foot in bounds, but that's all you need in high school is 1 foot. NFL, it's incomplete, but watch. Play action, fake to Cabral. Rolls to the outside and watch. Gannett gets the all-important 1 foot in bounds. That's all you need. And he gets the first down, taken out by number 30, Marquise Hairston, defensive back, and there's Gannett.
Whalers still alive, 1st and 10 now at the Durfee 36. Jared Santos on the handoff, but again, the field very slippery in the middle. He kind of loses his footing and then is eventually knocked down on the interior. Seth Lauro, one of the stoppers coming up from the linebacker spot, so it's a no gain, 2nd and 10. They did a great job on selling the run to Cabral because it was a 4th and 1. Cabral putting his arms tight, head down. Thought for a second he had it, but nice pass out to Gannett. 2nd and 10. Rebello, play action, rolling out to his left this time. Man in pursuit, ball is blocked, and it's going to be an incomplete pass. Actually, good thing that the ball was batted away right there. It wasn't a fumble. He already had his arm in motion, so he didn't lose 10 yards.
Rebello almost completed a pass to himself. It was deflected, went up in the air, tried to grab it, but it went out of bounds. And time is not on the Whalers side right now. 4:14 left. Time keeps ticking on away, and you see Tim Charbonneau warming up on the left side of the Whaler sidelines, and you see right there number 80, Corey Albergari, who's had a sufficient impact on defense today, a sack and the blocked pass right there. So it looked as though with Charbonneau warming up, you might think that if the Whalers are in the 20-25, they might just go for a field goal here and just try to get on the board.
3rd and 10, New Bedford at the Durfee 36. Rebello, play action, looking back, has to run it, down to the 30. Knocked out of bounds inside the 30. He's going to be short of the first down, but the Whalers certainly in 4-down territory. Again, you're thinking Rebello should pass it there, but he saw territory, and he picks up a nice gain of about 8 for New Bedford.
And Andrew Rebello almost contradicted what you and I said before in the telecast when we opened up the game here today and what he's done in the past. He's actually been running quite well today out of the pocket. Here he is right here getting close to a first down, out of bounds, taken down by, Lord, I can't even tell who that is. His jersey is so mucked up.
You can't see the Durfee jerseys at all.
No,
and they got Lauro and Rose running in the backfield, one number 28, one number 20. Can't tell them apart.
Yeah, their jerseys are all mucked up with the mud.
4th down and 2. Quick hitter to Cabral, and Cabral is the first down inside the 25-yard line. Whalers on the move with another first down. 3:59 to go in the third quarter. Two big 4th down conversions for the Whalers, as this is crunch time here. It's still in the third quarter, but the Whalers down by a pair of touchdowns. They need to keep getting these key conversions to keep this drive alive. They need points. Whalers a little disorganized, and they're going to have to call timeout. You don't really want to do that because once you get into the fourth quarter, if the Whalers are still behind, you're going to need some of those timeouts.
Yeah, that wasn't Canary running in motion. That was Canary jogging fast to his position because he was on the wrong side of the field for that certain formation.
Although you lose a timeout, it was still important to take it there because obviously the Whalers are a little bit disorganized. You want to get this right because you need this drive to turn into points.
Oh, this is it right here, Paul. If the Whalers don't score right here, still, you don't want to predict, but you might as well almost stick a fork in them. But they have to score at least something here, and you see Charbonneau warming up on the sidelines. Dennis Golden, it behooves them to at least get 3 on the board here with the whole quarter left to play and 3 minutes left in this one.
Stefan Gomes and Marcel Canary are your wide receivers. Kevin Cabral is the tailback this time, and he gets the football. Cabral with a nice hole up the middle as that ball gets down inside the 20, down to about the 17. Tell you, the offensive line did a nice job that time. Kevin Oliveira, Seamus Pendergrass, and Alex Grande creating a nice hole.
There's that upperclassman offensive line we talked about earlier, with Grande and Martinez and Pendergast paving the way, opening the hole for Cabral, and Cabral gets 6. 2nd and 4.
Ball at the Durfee 17. Andrew Rebello. Quick hitter to Carl Grillo. No, he keeps it on the option. Touchdown! Quarterback Andrew Rebello keeps on the fake handoff. And he goes 17 yards. The Whalers have a touchdown.
Watch right here, Paulie. Excellent play calling by both Golden and Rebello. Fakes the handoff to Grillo off the option. Runs right up the middle, not even contested. 17 yards for the score, 13-6, and Charbonneau comes out for the extra point. How important was that, Paulie? The Whalers were in desperate need of some sort of points, any kind of points, but they get a clutch play from their leader, Andrew Rebello.
Just a great job of the Whalers selling the handoff to the fullback. Great job on the fake, and you see Charbonneau, and that ball is shanked far wide to the left, but you do have to remember the Hilltoppers not able to convert on their second touchdown, so the Whalers are still down by 7 now. 13-6, 2:57 to go here in the third quarter, and I'll tell you, some terrific play calling in this drive by New Bedford. Remember that pass to Gannett on a 4th and 1. They converted 2 fourth down plays during that drive. At that time there, just a tremendous job of selling the handoff to the fullback Grillo. I thought he had the ball for a second, and Rebello quickly carrying the ball on the option into the end zone, 17 yards.
As you were saying, Paul, one word can sum up that drive for the Whalers offense, and just clutch. They completed 2 fourth downs. Of course, it was 4th and short, but regardless, 4th down territory, it's always a crapshoot. They got first down on 2 4th down territories. Cal Gannett getting the 1 foot in bounds for the first down, and that's all you need in high school. Took care of business. You had Cabral, who ran for a first down. Then you had, of course, that setup, and then all paved the way for the Andrew Rebello score. And unfortunately, Charbonneau shanked the extra point. But again, the Whalers are still only 1 score away, touchdown and an extra point, and we're all tied up again. So we'll see what happens here with 2:57 left in the third quarter.
Once again, kicking off will be Blake Youngblood from his own 40-yard line. Nice kick, deep. Barely caught at the 5-yard line by the Hilltoppers. Nice run up the middle to the 30. 35, loose ball. Ball is loose. The Whalers think they may have the football.
I think they might have, Paul. I was getting a good angle here on this monitor. I was looking at it. They had a good close-up.
They're still pulling the ball off, and they're going to give it to Durfee.
It looked as though Blake Youngblood, the guy who kicked it, actually pounced on it, but I guess it was stripped away from him as he was mucking for it in the mud. We'll see it again.
Trying to pick up the number here, as you can see how tough it is.
That's Brandon Rose, 20.
That was about a 23-yard return, but watch how dangerous this is.
Now watch, number 30, Blake Youngblood, strips it and goes down for it. It looks as though he might have gotten it, but it was just recovered by Durfee.
So Durfee has the ball at their own 33-yard line. Quick handoff up the middle, and that's to Rose. Rose barreling forward for a couple of yards. He'll pick up about 2 yards. You see how muddy the conditions are, especially in the middle of the field. New Bedford needs a big defensive stand here. Durfee getting into the end zone the last time they had the ball, as they started at their own 23 and pretty much marched down the field. Whalers need a stop, get the ball back. Boy, they came close on that hit right there. How big would that have been if they could have completed the turnover?
Well, the tides definitely would have been turning, Paulie, with the turnover now by Durfee. And nonetheless, they get the ball back.
Quick handoff, and the Whalers coming up with a big stop that time. Number 50, Seamus Pendergrass, throwing, I believe, Lauro for the big loss. 3rd and 9. You see head coach Steve Winarski on the far side of the field. The game felt pretty comfortable before that last New Bedford possession. And as Ian pointed out, the Tide feeling like it's turning here as Durfee is in a 3rd and long in their own territory. They're not in 4-down territory, so if they don't get this one, New Bedford will get the ball back, and we're still in the 3rd quarter.
Absolutely. We'll see what happens here. 3rd and 9. This might be the biggest stop of the game for the Whalers defense. We'll soon see.
A little counteraction to Rose the other way. Rose past the 35-yard line, close to the 40. That's going to be well short of the 1st down. Looks like it's going to be a 4th and about 3.
Yeah, I think he's going to be about 3 or 4 yards shy.
So how gutsy does he want to be? I mean, he's not in 4-down territory. Durfee loves to run the fake punt.
If you're Winarski, you absolutely have to punt.
I would think so.
You cannot take any chances with 4th and 3 with the ball at your own 40-yard line, especially now when it seems like the Whalers have all the momentum, offensively that is anyway. And it looks like they are going to punt as Canary's heading back to receive the punt. But again, you have to keep on your toes here because with Steve Winarski, anything can happen, and Durfee's going to call another timeout.
Interesting timeout here by head coach Steve Winarski. And we'll see what he has in mind. 30 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter. And the Durfee Hilltoppers leading 13-6. New Bedford coming up with a nice drive that last time. A couple of big 4th down conversions, some great play calling. A lot of great play fakes up the middle, successful passes. Andrew Abello running the option for the 17-yard touchdown. Unfortunately, with the slippery conditions, Charbonneau not able to get the extra point. But the Whalers are still within 7 because Durfee has 1 extra point and 1 unsuccessful attempt. So it's 4th down and 3, Durfee. The ball is at their own 40-yard line. Appears to be a punting situation.
One would
not
think.
in 4-down territory, so they do have number 11, Tim Powers, back there. But the quarterback is under center. And it's the quick kick like last time. This time New Bedford does have Stefan Gomes back there. Plenty of time to pick up the ball, but no, he decides to play it safe and leave it at the 20-yard line. So the Whalers will take over 1st and 10 at the 20. I know it's a lot easier up here, but it looked like Stefan had more time to pick it up.
Absolutely, and Dennis Golden is not a happy camper right now, and he shouldn't be. Stefan Gomes had a little wiggle room. He could have at least maybe gained 2 or 3 or 4 yards, and even though it's not all that much, every little bit but counts. And I think that Stefan Gomes played it a little too conservatively. He just conceded, the ball, let it bounce right there, and as a result, the Whalers get pushed back a little more than they could have been.
So the Whalers take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. We have 17 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter. The Whalers marching down the field on their last possession. So let's see if they're able to do it again. Andrew Abello calling signal on the option. Same play as last time. He breaks it to the 40, to the 50. Plenty of daylight in front of him. Can he take it the distance? Touchdown! Andrew Abello, an 80-yard run. And the Whalers are within 1.
Walsh Field is absolutely ecstatic right now. People on their feet cheering up and down, pandemonium. Fakes the handoff to Grillo once, just Paul. What happens here is just stunning. I am at a loss for words, Paul. What a play by Andrew Abello. As I said last drive, he has single-handedly taken the game into his own hands. 80 yards. How clutch is this? What a performance.
And watch the very end here.
Little extra. Ugh. Right over the goal line.
That's sort of like the yeah baby at the end, an exclamation point, as it was a race to the corner of the end zone, and he was grabbed around the ankles, had the athleticism to reach out, get the ball into the corner of the end zone, and An 80-yard touchdown run by Rebello, and the fans on the Durfee side are in shock. That was the last play of the third quarter, but of course they'll run the play after touchdown with no time on the clock. And you see head coach Dennis Golden, I believe that's him out there.
That was absolutely amazing.
Wow.
If we could almost take another look at that later on, but that was absolutely amazing.
Big decision here, Durfee leading 13-12.
You must have a lot of confidence in your kicker to really nail this PAT.
Whalers are
Looks like they're gonna go for
going to go for the lead. Fans really into it now. He's rolling out. Now he's in trouble. He's going to have to ad-lib. Rebello looking for a man. He has one. And the two-point conversion is successful. There was a broken play. He had to ad-lib. And he successfully finds an open man in the corner of the end zone. Whalers take the lead.
And I believe it was number 49, Nick Costa. Nick Costa.
Well, Nick has a touchdown reception to his credit earlier on in the season.
It is number 49, the 5'11" tight end who's not used all that often, but he was used right there, and he might have scored the biggest points of the season so far. 14-13 New Bedford.
Nick Costa finding himself open in the end zone as the quarterback was rolling out. What happened was there was some pretty good pursuit on quarterback Rebello. Was not able to find an open receiver. He then ad-libs rolling out to his left for a right-handed quarterback. And Nick Costa, who has one touchdown reception to his credit on the season, found himself open in the left corner of the end zone, gave a signal, and Rebello put it on the numbers. And the Whalers lead 14-13.
Last year's win for the Whalers was good in the aspect where the game was back and forth. How sweet would this game be if the Whalers were to come back down 13-love and to score 2 touchdowns on 2 consecutive drives on rushes from Andrew Rebello, one from 10 yards out, the other from 80 yards out, and then the 2-point conversion by Nick Costa from Rebello. Unbelievable.
Blake Youngblood now kicking off to start the fourth quarter. Youngblood with a line drive kick. Taken at about the 18-yard line by, I believe, Rose. Straight up the middle, big hit at the 37.
That's Blake Youngblood making his own tackle. Flattens Rose.
So the Whalers, with a big comeback with 2 straight touchdowns in the third quarter, late in the third quarter, will now call upon the defense to stop Durfee. Durfee did get into the end zone on their first possession of the third quarter, but the last possession of the third quarter went 3 and out. So it's 1st and 10 Durfee at their own 36-yard line. Brendan Rose carrying the ball down to the 40-yard line. The ball is loose. And are they calling it down? Yes.
They're going to call him down back at about the 39. 2nd and 7 they're going to give it, and that was number 20, Rose again. It's awfully tough to really pick out who's who really on the Durfee offense if we said over and over again. Yeah, his knees were down. Nonetheless, even if it wasn't, it was recovered by Durfee.
In the backfield, you generally have Rose number 20 and Lauro number 28.
And sometimes you have Powers.
And sometimes Powers number 11, but with the 2 gentlemen wearing a number that's in the 20s, you cannot tell. Now, I believe that's Lauro directly behind the quarterback. McDonald going to throw this time. Forget it. Sack. Number 50 of the Whalers, Seamus Pendergast.
Pendergast, who doubles as the center and a defensive end. 6 foot, 220-pound senior, who was a center last year, and there he is again this year, 6 foot, 220 pounds. The senior is taking care of business today for the Whalers defensively with both Gorilla with 3 tackles and now Pendergast with the very, very clutch sack. 3rd and 14 from the Hilltoppers' own 34-yard line with 9:25 left.
So what worked for the Hilltoppers earlier on in the game is not working here, although that was the first time I believe that McDonald was going to throw, but even the running plays haven't been working. So the Whaler defense coming up big here as we enter the fourth quarter. Of course, getting a big lift. Now you got a 3rd down and 13, so this is a passing situation generally. Fumble snap. Ball is loose.
And Durfee pounced right back on it again.
So even though New Bedford did not get the turnover, Durfee's going to have to punt the football back to New Bedford's offense, which has gotten in gear of late.
Not only will New Bedford get the ball back, but the clock keeps on ticking. We're now on the 9 minutes, 8:42 left. And the Whalers, if they can chop some more time off the clock with a couple of options, off the power eye, a couple of handoffs with split backs, and there's the fumble again. The Whalers can pretty much wind the time down to about 2 or 3 minutes left if they play their cards right here.
Stefan Gomes and Jared Santos back deep for the Whalers. Tim Powers will be doing the punting for the Hilltoppers. Fans into the Whaler chant as the ball is punted from Durfee's own 22-yard line by Powers. Bouncing at the 40, just dies there. Down by the Hilltoppers at the New Bedford 38. So New Bedford will take over. A coverage by Durfee, Corey Albergaria. So New Bedford with some decent field position. A whole different situation now. New Bedford not pressed to get points necessarily. Obviously, you want to go down and get points, but
oh yeah,
you want to move the ball, take some time off the clock. And
7 combined fumbles today between both teams.
You know, they say, Ian, you don't play not to lose, you play to win. So let's go down and get another score.
Absolutely. And, you know, do you dump the whole game plan that you had in the last 2 drives? Well, no. You still might want to run your quick routes and your skinny posts and your slants, but also you want to try to, you know, at least keep it the same, as I was saying, you know.
Well, the option has worked really well.
It really has.
Last
Paul.
couple of times down. You may see that again as Rebello calls signals.
It worked well in the Dartmouth game, and it's worked well today.
And here it comes. This time Rebello to the near side. Rebello past the 45-yard line, takes a huge hit, and now we have some trash talking going on here, and the Whalers have to be careful because number 76 right there of the Whalers giving a little bit of a shove. That was Joe Forts. You don't want to get a personal foul, an extra one that you don't need.
Yeah, and you had number 67 there for the Hilltoppers. Watch, a late hit on Rebello. Watch. Now Rebello's clearly out of bounds right here.
Well, no, I don't know. It was kind of on the line.
Well, it's tough because the mud as well. But then you have the trash talk going on, and you have number 49 for the Hilltoppers, Justin Souza, not making matters any better by giving Rebello a little bit of slap on top of the helmet.
I think early in the third quarter, we were talking about how the option might be the best option. Well, it's just been run so successfully by Rebello. Of course, the 80-yard touchdown run, and before that, the 17-yard touchdown run by Rebello. And that time, you see Rebello executing the option to the near side of the field, which means less room, but maybe a little more element of surprise. He gets the 11-yard gain, and it's a first down for New Bedford. 7:53 to go. He was out of bounds, stops the clock. Ball is at the Durfee 49. Pitch to Jared Santos. Santos hit right away, minimal gain over the right side of his line.
And he as well fumbled as he hit the ground, but his knees were down already, so there was no controversy there. So you can chalk up 8 fumbles now by both teams, and you got to figure too with the mud and the slippery conditions, that has to be the reason why there's so many fumbles here this afternoon.
Ball
Actually,
wet
this morning,
and slippery.
I should say.
Yeah.
This morning, I should say.
So now New Bedford in a second down and 8. Ball spotted at now the Durfee Hilltopper 49. Whalers now in that offset eye, powered to the right.
Got the full house backfield.
And the full house, and there's a handoff to Kevin Cabral. Kevin Cabral past the 45-yard line down to about the 43. Kevin Cabral, who at the start of the game was going to be used primarily on defense, banged up a little bit coming into the game. You can't tell now as he has become a big factor on offense. He leads the team in touchdowns with 5 coming into today's game. Rebello now leading the team with the 2 touchdowns today, 6 on the season.
And we're now under the 7-minute mark with exactly 6:30 left. And time keeps ticking away, and very smartly the Whalers aren't in the hurry-up offense here. They're taking their time. They're going at it very slow, and again, they're running out of the full house backfield.
Full house backfield on the 3rd down and 2 at the Hilltopper 43-yard line. Cabral appears to be short of the first down. Picks up maybe a yard. And the Hilltoppers defensive line moving to the middle and making the stop. Jordan Levesque, Chris Medeiros, Tommy Allen, Craig Willett tying up the inside.
Yeah, I think you go for it here, too. I understand that you have the lead and you might want to play conservative, but you're at Durfee's own 42-yard line. You're in 4-down territory. It's 4th and 1. You know, go for the option. Why not?
Go for the option.
Why? Yeah, go for the option.
I agree. The option has worked so well so far. The defense doesn't know where the ball's going to go. All you need is 1 yard, and if you get the first down, I'd say half finish them off.
And there's so many different variations of the option. You can run out of the full house or the I, and they're running it out of the house here. We'll see what happens.
Full house backfield for Rebello. Quick hitter to Kevin Cabral, very close to the first down, but
if they mark his forward,
I don't know.
If they mark the forward progress where he landed, then he has the first down. It depends on where they say his knees hit, though.
Now we are going to have a timeout on the field by the officials. It appears to be a measurement situation, and I don't know, Ian, I'm obviously looking at this game from the New Bedford point of view. We're all hoping the Whalers can get the first down there. It appears that the nose of the football is very close to the line, but if he does have it, it's not going to be by much.
From where the official spotted the ball, it looked as though it's pretty fair spot. It looked as though that's where Cabral ended up. We'll see what the measurement says.
No, Durfee holds.
Oof, a matter of an inch at best, Paul. We're talking a quarter of an inch, a half an inch. How much closer do you have to get? And the Hilltoppers, the pesky 2-7 Hilltoppers, are still alive and well right now with momentum back on their side.
Well, this has turned into a barn burner, so to speak, as at one point in time it looked like the Whalers were in big trouble, down by a couple of touchdowns, but they get 2 in a row late in the 3rd quarter. And now Durfee gets the ball back on a nice defensive stand by the Hilltoppers, and just barely. So Durfee takes over 1st and 10 at their own 41-yard line.
Now I'm interested to see what kind of tricks Steve Winaski might bring to the table here with the I set.
It's a draw play to Rose. Rose bumps into his own man, and that gives the Whalers time to get in the backfield, but he breaks a tackle. We'll still have a 2 or 3 yard loss, so great pursuit by the New Bedford Whalers. One of the guys in there, outside linebacker Jonathan Medeiros.
Even though Rose didn't gain anything, Paul, he actually did in the sense where he would have been taken down for about a 5 or 6 yard loss. Nonetheless, he was able to avoid multiple tackles, and now it's 2nd and 15 from their own 42. And watch, he avoids the tackles from players such as number 54, Jonathan Medeiros, and number 74, Alexander Grande. And then finally he's taken down that time by number 42, Ross Rodriguez.
So Durfee not generally a passing team, and they're already in a 2nd and 15. Big first down loss. P.J. McDonald rolling out, looking, pass, and it is complete just past the 41-yard line on the reception for the Durfee Hilltoppers, the tight end, Corey Albergaria. 6'1", 225-pound senior, Ian.
Albergaria has had 2 very clutch plays on defense, 1 sack and 1 blocked pass, and right now picks up a very, very decent gain and now cuts into that deficit they were in. It's no longer 15 yards till the first down. It's now 9, so they gained 6. Not even close to the first down yet, but you have to start somewhere. Start chipping away, and get a look at Ryan Rodriguez, the
checking into the game. Right there, they lost 6 and then they gained 6, so they're back to a 10-yard situation, 3rd and 10. Quick handoff to the left side. That is going to be Rose. Powers, number 11 that time with the ball.
They might have to measure this one also, Paul.
Wow, that little second spin after he got the 9-yard gain gets him very close to the first down.
Now, according to the markers I see before they bring him out, it looks like he might have it, but we'll see when they bring him out. Here it is again on replay, Paulie. Second spin, ooh. His knee might have hit a yard earlier. That's the only thing, but we'll see where the forward progress is marked.
The way they've put the ball down, it looks like it's on the other side of the 50-yard line by inches. And the first down marker appears to be just on the other side of the 50-yard line. So looks like a beneficial spot right there for Durfee, and they are going to bring the chains into measure. Looks like they got a favorable spot again, Ian.
Even if Durfee doesn't convert here, they're still in fourth down territory. They're about a half a yard short, which is fine because Durfee's still with the ball at the 50-yard line exactly. They're going to go for it, obviously. No secret to that.
Well, there's only 3:08 to go in the game. So this could be the ball game right here.
But Winarski still has 2 timeouts left. And the game is far from over, of course, because in high school, too, you get a first down, the clock stops. So even if Durfee doesn't convert here, if they stop the Whalers, they still have a chance.
4th and 1 for Durfee. The Whaler fans on their feet. Hilltopper fans on their feet. Biggest play of the game right now. Do the Hilltoppers get the first down and keep this drive alive? Or does New Bedford come up with a big defensive stand with 3:08 to go and leading by 1? B.J. McDonald.
Durfee running with a 2 tight end set now, Paulie. They're really anticipating the blitz.
And B.J. McDonald in this situation has generally run the sneak.
And now
we have a timeout on the field. Looks like an official's timeout.
So, Paul, you getting ready for the big Thanksgiving dinner we're about to feast on after this game?
Absolutely.
You're going to your mother's house, right?
That's right.
Mrs. Santos, save some stuffing for your boy, Paul. Put some aside.
So here we go, 4th and 1. Durfee needs to keep the drive alive. New Bedford needs a big defensive stand. B.J. McDonald. The ball is fumbled. It squirts back. It goes for a 15-yard loss. Kevin Cabral in there. Alex Grande. Kyle Gannett.
Kevin Cabral with a very, very big tackle. Didn't have a big impact on this game as far as fullback is concerned because of his slight concussion. Big tackle there, and that just might have ended the game for the Whalers. We'll see what happens. Watch, here comes Cabral and Grillo. Both a team effort taking him down, and there you go. McDonald taken down. And now the Whalers have the ball. 1st and 10 at the Hilltoppers 37-yard line. Winarski still has 2 timeouts though, folks, with 2 minutes left. And of course in high school football, you get a first down, the clock stops. So there's a whole lot of football left to be played here.
Timeout Whalers. 2:43 to go in the game. Tell you, Ian, in the 3rd quarter, about halfway through the 3rd quarter, Durfee was leading 13-0. New Bedford struggling on offense. The Whalers all of a sudden get a couple of big plays. Nice pass to Kyle Gannett on that drive where they converted on successive 4th down situations. You had the 17-yard touchdown run by Rebello on the option, and then the next time down, first play from scrimmage, New Bedford at their own 20. And of course the run by Andrew Rebello. And how about that 2-point conversion to Nick Costa?
That was key, Paul, but the play that really got the chains moving literally and figuratively speaking was, I believe, the catch on 4th down by Kyle Gannett. Got the 1 foot in bounds. That kept the drive alive when there was 4th and 2. It kept it alive, eventually led up to the 10-yard score from Rebello. Then on the next drive, you had the 80-yard score from Rebello. So without that Gannett reception, we wouldn't be here right now. So there's always, for every action, there's a reaction, and that was the action that really set the ball rolling for the Whalers, offensively anyway, here this afternoon.
Whalers in the full house backfield, 1st and 10 at the Durfee Hilltopper 37. Kevin Cabral, straight up the middle, gain about 5. That's all the Whalers need right now. Just continue to move the ball with positive yardage. And the thing about New Bedford's offense right now, they're moving the ball successfully. So as a result, there's room in the middle, and there's always the danger of Rebello taking it around the side.
All very right, Paul. And also, Steve Winarski is going to burn his 2nd time out of the half. And we knew it would be coming. No secret.
2:34 to go. It appears that one more first down by New Bedford might do it. If Durfee can hold New Bedford here, they'd have one last possession with a little bit of time to play with. So it's 2nd down and 6. The ball at the Durfee Hilltopper 33-yard line for New Bedford's offense. Again, full house backfield fumble. Rebello gets the ball and has to fall on the ball for a loss of 3. Again, that's the other dangerous thing, this turnover situation because of the field conditions. Whalers have to take good care of the football here.
I think Seamus Pendergast might have jumped the gun on the snap count. It looked as though Rebello wasn't even ready for it. But nonetheless, a heads-up play by Rebello to just pick up the ball once it was dropped and to realize that something went awry, so to speak. Now we have a 3rd and 8 at the Hilltoppers 35-yard line with 2:26 left. And of course, for those of you who aren't sure, there are no 2-minute warnings in high school football. And when you get a first down, the clock stops. So that's kind of a positive and a negative thing as far as the clock is concerned for both New Bedford and Durfee.
See head coach Dennis Golden on the sidelines, first year as head coach. Last year, the Whalers finishing 3 games under 500. This year, the Whalers hoping to complete the season with a winning record at 5-5. And midway through the 3rd quarter, it didn't look too good, but the Whalers right now in the driver's seat. Of course, the game's still in the balance because it's a 3rd down and 8. Ball at the Durfee 35-yard line, 2:26 to play. And right here, of course, I think New Bedford really in 4th down territory. If they can get a decent gain, I don't see them punting the ball in this location at this time.
No, absolutely not. I mean, I can't see it.
High formation this time behind Andrew Rebello. Rebello rolling out to his left. Has time. Throws it deep. Up for grabs. Almost intercepted. It was intended for Stefan Gomes, and some pretty good coverage down there by the Durfee Hilltoppers.
You know, I really do not see the rationale now, Paul. I mean, Rebello just lofted it right up there, and it was almost picked off. How dangerous was that? I mean, I understand that there was no one open, but you got to hold the ball, run out of bounds, or throw it away when you get out of the pocket or do something.
It was interesting call passing, too, because they have been running.
Exactly.
They've been eating the clock pretty well.
And there is no 2-minute warning like we established, so, I mean, I don't get it. I mean,
on the other side of it, though, if you complete it, you finish them off.
That's the thing, too. If he completed it, we would have been saying what a great play it was. But, of course, because we are the media, we have to second-guess, Paul.
So Walsh will be punting the ball away for New Bedford. And Mike gets it away, straight over the middle. This time it just kind of dies when it lands. It's inside the 20, about the 17. So, hey, the Durfee Hilltoppers, they're not done yet. They have the ball, 2:07 to play. Yeah, a lot of times you're making those decisions. They're not easy, and a lot of times the element of surprise is what you're going for. I think everyone was expecting New Bedford to run a couple more plays. The way they were moving the ball, you'd think maybe they'd get the first down on a couple of runs, but they go for the sort of finish them off play. And of course, and it didn't work, so now Durfee has a shot.
And in sports, Paul, hindsight's a beautiful thing. We can sit here and hindsight and second guess all we want, but you know, when you're out in the field, it's all spur of the moment. If he completed it, he would have been a hero, but not, and now we have to second guess.
Durfee, of course, getting the quick handoff around this side. That looks like Rose.
And you can see Rose tried getting out of bounds, Paul, but just couldn't do it, and the time keeps ticking away. We got to hurry up.
They did pick up 5 yards, and we're about to point out that the Durfee Hilltoppers haven't been moving the ball as easily on New Bedford toward the end of the game. The defense has come up very big of late, so they're going to have to be called upon again here to hold the Hilltoppers and hang on this Thanksgiving Day. 2nd and 5. Durfee at their own 22-yard line. Handoff up the middle. Again, that is Brendan Rose, I believe.
And they didn't get the first down, which is key. No, because it doesn't stop the clock. The clock keeps on running, but now Winarski is going to call his last time out.
They did get the first down, Ian.
Wow. Generous spot. Barely got it. Looked as though he was about a yard and a half short, but nonetheless, they gave him the spot.
Now the clock is rolling.
Now it is.
1:22 to go. Man in motion. Quick handoff to the left. And a great defensive play that time. Looks like Grillo. Stefan Gomes, 82, making the stop for New Bedford. 2-yard loss. That's huge. 1:11 to go.
And now Winarski's going to burn his last time out.
The Durfee Hilltoppers, not generally a team that can pick up huge chunks of yardage. They're generally a north and south, grind it out kind of team. And when you've got that long a distance to go,
with a minute
very
11
difficult.
left. With a minute 11 left, but all you have to do is take it one first down at a time. A couple of slant patterns, a couple of quick outs, get the first down, get out of bounds, stops the clock. Hurry it up, keep it going, keep the ball rolling. I don't expect much running here with a minute 11 left, but with Winarski, anything's possible. Winarski now in his 10th year as head coach of the Hilltoppers, and of course Dennis Golden in his first.
Powers and Albegaria wide to the right. Rose and Loro behind B.J. McDonald, and McDonald is going to have to throw. Rolls out. Now in pursuit, and he's sacked. Seamus Pendergast. Took too long to get rid of the ball, and Seamus would have none of it.
With 58 seconds left, and now the Hilltoppers really have to hurry up.
Well, we got the sack and the stoppage of the clock here with 58 seconds left. It's going to be 3rd down and 20.
There's another graphic of Seamus. Another player, unfortunately, that the Whalers are going to lose to the graduation bug that so many Whalers players lost last year to graduation, such as A.J. Tavares, Cliff Taylor, Stephen Almeida, Pat Walsh, just to name a couple.
Head coach Dennis Golden talking to his troops. 58 seconds left. All as they need is 2 plays. Hold them on 2 plays, and you've got yourself a memorable Thanksgiving Day victory. And this will be a memorable one because come from behind victories are always the sweetest. You don't want to fall behind, but when you do fall behind and you can come back and get the W, those are always the ones that you remember the most, especially on Thanksgiving.
And you have to think the way this game started was almost the Whalers' day. It was at home. Nice tribute to Dr. Walsh. We'll see what happens.
3rd and 20. Man in motion is Albegaria. Quick hitter up the middle. There is room. That's Rose. Rose is right down there near the first down marker. That is something like an 18-yard gain. That's incredible.
On 2nd and 20, who would have thought that you would have given Brandon Rose the ball in a draw, caught the Whalers off guard, 18-yard gain. It's now 4th and 2 with 34 seconds left. They got to hurry up, though.
32 seconds left and counting. This is your ball game right here. McDonald hands off to the near side. First down marker in sight, and he has a first down past the 40.
And the clock stops.
Down to the 44-yard line.
Now it's time you start throwing, Paul. No more running. Can't take that chance anymore.
Hilltoppers got to set up quickly because as soon as the chains are moved, the official will give the signal to start rolling the clock again. Rose on the carry that time, 1st and 10. Oh, they moved. The fullback moved too early. He tried to throw the ball down on the spike. Let's see whether or not that was called. It looks like it's just going to be the spike.
The spike to stop the
clock. I thought for sure there was some movement there.
Yeah, I thought there was too, but fortunately for the Hilltoppers and their fans, there were no flags called. So as a result, the spike goes as is. And plenty of time, Paul, 20 seconds left. Get a first down.
Good move there, spiking the ball.
Oh, yeah. You can get a first down, burn off about 4 or 5 seconds, and then you're pretty well into Whalers territory now with about 15, 14, 13 seconds left, and who knows what can happen there.
Rose is the man behind the quarterback. Powers there as well. Pendergast gets in there. Fumble, loose ball. And we do not have a signal yet. Certainly a big loss. Anyway, Whaler ball!
And now the game is all but over.
Seamus Pendergast putting that pressure on again, Ian. Let's take a look.
Seamus Pendergast coming on McDonald. uncontested, and you see Grande as well getting in on there, and Pendergast causing the fumble, and then it's pounced on by number 78, Victor Martinez. Martinez jumps on it, offensive line and defensive tackle, 12 seconds left, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You take a knee and you take the win, ending the season at 500. What a turnaround from last year to this year, Paul, with a whole new regime and a whole new team, and the Whalers have definitely gained back a lot of much-needed credibility.
So 12 seconds left. The Whalers will run off one more play on this memorable Thanksgiving Day. There's 12 seconds left. Looked like one of the officials was injured and shaken up. You see bottom left corner of your screen. Looks like the top of the head. It looks like he may have got banged on the top of the head. And he's being attended to on the Whalers sideline right now. That's the referee, Charlie Ashley. So hopefully he's okay. And we'll run off one more play. I'll tell you, every year in this Thanksgiving game, something memorable happens, it seems. This one here is going to be
remembered for years.
Remembered as the comeback in the pouring rain. Last year was the wild shootout.
And they're getting the Gatorade bucket ready. It looks like they're going to dump it on Coach Golden over here on the sidelines.
They have to catch him when he's not looking.
They have to, right after the kneel here.
So Andrew Rabello takes the knee, and time will tick away. 7 seconds and counting. And the New Bedford Whalers have come from behind to beat the Durfee Hilltoppers by a score of 14-13 to win on Thanksgiving Day.